So this is about factoring. We like the factoring where there is no number in front of the x squared. If there's nothing here, then that makes it easiest for us to factor. We look for numbers that multiply to be the last term and add to be the middle. So things that multiply to be 15 are what we start with. We just make a list of everything that multiplies to be 15. 1 times 15 is 15, 3 times 5 is 15. Those are the only sets of numbers that would multiply to be 15. But it also has to meet a second requirement. It has to add to be that middle number of 8. Well, if we do 1 plus 15, that's 16. That doesn't work, so those numbers cannot be used. If we do 3 plus 5, that's 8, so that can be used. So we're going to bring down the x squared. We're going to bring down the 15. But the 8x, instead of keeping it as an 8x, we're going to use these two numbers to rewrite it. If I write this as plus 3x plus 5x plus 15, 3x plus 5x is still 8x. Once I do that, I can do some factoring. I want to start by looking at the first two terms and the last two terms. So of the first two, we want to say, okay, what divides into both x squared and into 3x? Well, if there's no number in front of x squared, no number would divide into both of them except 1, which we don't really care about. But they both have a letter x, so they both divide by x. Then we have to figure out what's left, so we actually do that division. If we have two x's and we're dividing by 1, that leaves us with only one x. 3x divided by x, the x's would cancel, so we'd have x plus 3. If we have 5x and 15, the only number that divides into both 5 and 15 is 5. And from this, we can write our final answer. Notice that we have two matching pieces. Those matching pieces will only be written once. Then everything that's left over is what goes in the second parenthesis. We could check this and make sure it matches the original by multiplying it back out, but I'm going to skip that step. So that's a more basic factoring. What can make this harder is if there's a number in front of the x squared. Let's say we have 6x squared minus 31x plus 35. So this one's going to start a little bit differently. We want to take the first term, 6, and multiply it by the last term, 35. Because there's that number in front, it changes how we're going to start this problem. So that's 210. So now the numbers we want to multiply, we want them to multiply to be 210, but they still have to add to be that middle term. It's just instead of last and middle, we had to do first times last to get what we need to multiply. Now 210 is a big number, we're going to have a very long list. So things that multiply to be 210, 1 times 210. 2 times 105, 3 times 70, 4 didn't work. When I did 210 divided by 4, I got 52.5, and we don't want to work with decimals. So we skip 4 and go to 5. 5 times 42, 6 times 35. Like I said, this is going to be a long list. 7 times 30. 10 times 21. that may be the end of the list. Oh, nope, one more, 14 times 15. So we know we're done when we get numbers that are so close together. 14 and 15 are only 1 unit apart. We're done with our list. So we're looking for, on this list, any of these that would add to be 31. So 1 plus 210 is 211, that doesn't work. 2 plus 105 is 107. 3 plus 70 is 73. 47, 41, 37, and there we go, 31. These are the numbers we would use. We do need to notice something though. This was a negative 31. Well, there's an easy way to fix that. If you just make both of these negative, a negative 10 times a negative 21 is still a positive 210, but a negative 10 plus a negative 21 is negative 31. So now we're going to do the same process we saw in the first problem. We're going to bring down the 6x squared. We're going to bring down the 35. But instead of writing negative 31x, we're going to rewrite it as negative 10x minus 21x. And now we're going to look at the first two terms and the last two terms. So looking at 6 and 10, we want to say what divides into both 6 and into 10. The biggest number that divides into both of those is a 2, and then they both contain a variable, so we have to use a 2x. So then we divide both of these by 2x to figure out what's inside the parentheses. 6x squared divided by 2x is 3x. 10x divided by 2x is 5. Now we look at the next one, 21 and 35. One thing that can help with factoring is to maybe have a multiplication table nearby, because then it's easier to see things that divide into both. This one would be 7. Again, we face a problem though. We don't want this first term to be 7. If this first term is ever, we don't want this first term to be negative. If the first term is ever negative, we use negative 7 out front. So then when we divide a negative by a negative, we'd get positive 3x. Positive 35 divided by negative 7 is negative 5. So you know you're doing it right when you get this matching piece. We use the matching piece only once, kind of merges together, and then everything in front of the two parentheses would go in the second parenthesis. I want to do one more problem, because if this last sign is a minus, it can make making the list a little bit different. So last example, 10x squared minus 23x minus 5. So again, we still start multiplying first times last. 10 times negative 5 is negative 50. Now because this came out negative, when we make our list of numbers, two numbers, in order for them to multiply to be a negative 50, one needs to be positive and one needs to be negative. So like we could say positive 1 and negative 50, or positive 2 and negative 25, or positive 5 and negative 10. I think that's the last one. So we actually have to also reverse this list by changing the signs. It could also be negative 1 and 50, negative 2 and 25, and negative 5 and positive 10. All of those would make negative 50. So now we're still going to go check by adding, like we'd add 1 plus negative 50. That would be negative 49. 2 plus negative 25 is negative 23. Good, that's the one we need. You'll notice if we had done negative 2 plus 25, it gives us positive 23. That one is the wrong one. Even though it has pretty close, they're both 23s, we want the one with the negative because there's a minus sign in the middle in front of the 23. So we'd go and rewrite that middle as plus 2x minus 25x, and then we'd factor. Things that divide into both 10 and 2 are 2. They both have an x, so we use an x. And then we figure out what's left over by dividing. 10 divided by 2 is 5. X squared divided by x is just x. 2x divided by 2x, you might think, hey, everything cancels, I just leave it blank. But when you're dividing, that leaves you with 1. 2 divided by 2 is just 1. Then we say what divides in both 25 and 5. There's a 5, but if that first one is negative again of the second group, remember we're looking at first 2 and last 2. If that's a negative, we make it a negative 5. Since the last number didn't have a variable, we don't worry about putting an x with the 5, we just use a negative 5. Negative 25x divided by negative 5 would be positive 5x. And negative 5 divided by negative 5 again, they don't just cancel, it leaves us a positive 1. So we take our matching pieces and use it once. And then we just take everything in front of the parentheses and put it inside the second set of parentheses. So hopefully that helped. If this YouTube video still didn't help, you're still confused, feel free to let me know and we can go through and work some problems together.